Take ownership. Take extreme ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Get control of your ego. Don't hide your delicate pride from the truth. Take ownership of everything in your world, the good and the bad. Take ownership of your mistakes. Take ownership of your shortfalls. Take ownership of your problems, and then take ownership of the solutions that will get those problems solved.
You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want.
One of the things I have realized, and many of us have, if you want something out of life, if you want to change yourself, if you want to acquire something, if there's some goal that you want to reach, that is really not easy as some people will make us feel. That living your dream, changing your behaviors, overcoming negative habits, it's challenging. It's hard. That living alone is just very difficult. And once we begin to come to grips with the fact that living is difficult, life is very challenging. So how do we begin to nurture that hunger? What are the characteristics or the qualities of people that are hungry? What will it take for me to get some of the things that I want? And being hungry for those things, number one, you've got to work on yourself. It's very important that you engage in an ongoing process to develop you. Spend more time on yourself than what you've been spending.
Take ownership of your mission. Take ownership of your job, of your team, of your future, and take ownership of your life. And lead. Lead. Lead yourself and your team and the people in your life. Lead them all to victory.
You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. Unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you've got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way. You weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult. And there's a tremendous amount of liberation that comes when you accept the fact that you're always going to need to give yourself a push.
It's very important. You owe that to yourself. Many of us never realize our greatness because we become sidetracked by secondary activity. Because you are creating your own production. You are the star of your show. You are the director. You're writing the script. And you will determine whether your life is, you determine that. Working on yourself, talking to yourself. That's so very important.
You are a phenomenal being. What do you want to be remembered for? How much time do you really have? Think about it. You have all these years in this tiny, small dash that represents your entire life. I want you to add substance to that dash. I want you to grow that dash. And I want you to make it the most beautiful life you can possibly make it. But the only way you can do these things is if you apply it to your mind, apply it to your heart, apply it to your soul, and believe.
Before you can be a painter who can paint what's beyond mere memory, you have to inculcate that discipline, skill, and a lot of that is painful repetition and hard grinding work. It's the sacrifice of the present for the future.
When we look out on our lives, you ask the question, what are you going to do? Look at, as you think about this that you know you need to handle, what are you going to do? And then write down 3 strong reasons on why you know you must take action. And be explicit and descriptive in your reasons, because your reasons have power. Your reasons will drive you. When you have doubt, when your faith becomes weak, your reasons will fortify your faith. When you have an inner conversation, say, no, don't do that. Your reasons will become your rod and your staff to comfort you, to take you through those challenging moments.
I'm telling you now, do not stop fighting for your dream. And anything worth having, you must be willing to die for. And this person that continues to chase his dream will be one of the greatest. Listen to me, people. Pain is necessary Life is not daisies and roses, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard routing. But if you continue to grind, if you continue to claw, if you continue to fight, you can never lose. Because the only way a man loses is if he quits. We gotta fight. We gotta take a punch to give a punch. This means you have to fail sometime. You have to fall sometime.
You're going to get thrown to the ground again and again and again. But when you have determination and you know that what you're doing is right, you will have some power from on high. You will discover some things about yourself that will begin to electrify your personality. You'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got.